Tonight for Jim Wooldridge and the Kansas State Wildcats. Same group that has been starting throughout the season with Harris, Stewart, Wright, Martin, and Diarra. Our officials tonight, Mike Thibodeau, David Marich, and Brad Ferry. Good crowd here tonight as the students are back after their Thanksgiving break. K-State winning Saturday over Stephen F. Austin. As we look at the all-time series, these two teams haven't played since 1998 here in Bramlage. K-State winning it by 21. The other matchup back in the 50s. Cartier-Martin stand with 3 straight 20-plus games. The first Wildcats since Willie Morrell to pull off that feat, and looking for more tonight.
Yeah, that was 1963 when Willie did that, and you need him to score the basketball for K-State to be successful. A lot of newcomers in the lineup. Lance Harris as a starter really has not got into a groove yet, so Cartier's got to score the ball. He's done that early for the Wildcats.
We are underway in the tip controlled by Jamal Brown, and into the hands of a very explosive point guard in Bobby Brown, who looks to score first, averaging 17.3 points a game. Here's Brown with 20 on the shot clock, guarded here by Clint Stewart as K-State begins in a man defense. Brown on the pull-up, drains a three-pointer, and the Titans draw first blood.
Completely an offensive-minded point guard. He'll run the offense, Ben, but he is looking for every opportunity. A great high pick there opened him up just for a second. He knocks the shot down.
Brown last year third in the Big West in scoring. As Harris trying to shoot himself out of a slump. It's the first one for K-State. Lance just 7 of 25 on the season coming into tonight.
Well, that might get him started. It's nice to see him score early.
Fullerton averaging 85 points a game, K-State 74 a game. We expect this to be a high-tempo game. Fullerton will get about, well, they have been getting 25 to 30 points per game in transition.
And then they just crash the offensive boards. They don't give up. They don't run back on defense. They're there to get the putbacks.
Fullerton begins in a man. Justin Burns, a junior out of Las Vegas, gets the start on Cartier-Martin. Martin there, and that is rejected by Burns and fumbled out of bounds by Drummond Diarra.
Cartier hitting the offensive boards, doing a nice job rebounding. You mentioned that in the open, averaging 9.7 rebounds a game. You think of him as a wing player last year. He's really adapted well to playing down low with the big guys.
Here's Jermaine Harper. He's a senior out of Gardena, California, as they clear it out for him to go one-on-one against Lance Harris. Harper was a starter last year, did not start the first 2 games this season, but back into the lineup now as Brown attacks against Akeem Wright, and Bobby Brown has 5 for the Titans.
Good defense out front by Akeem Wright, but the big guy couldn't keep with the smaller Bobby Brown. He made it and got the angle to the backboard.
And Wright's kind of been the defensive stopper so far for K-State on the perimeter. Here's Martin free for 7 from a 17-footer, and that rattles away.
The other thing Akeem Wright has done so well is pass the basketball, especially the interior passing. That time he saw a wide open Cartier-Martin. Normally that's a shot that Cartier knocks down.
Martin shooting 61% in the opening 3 games. There's Burris backing in on Martin. High for the weak side rebound is Lance Harris, and into the hands of Clint Stewart. Akeem Wright quickly up the floor. Fullerton playing kind of a sagging man here as Wright takes a long jumper and hits.
He's got beautiful rotation on his shot. He kind of jumps and hangs.
Quickly back the other way. It's Harper bombing for 3, and an 8-4 lead for Fullerton.
There's the transition defense we talked about, and it could be even after a made basket, Ben. You saw it right there. They were down court in a flash. If you don't match up, they'll shoot the ball.
Now, K-State has been impressive early on in their 3 games as a whole, but Stan, they've not been a good starting team, especially at the offensive end of the floor.
Well, we've seen that the last game that we televised. They got behind New Mexico about 16 points in the first half, made a nice comeback, but you don't want to get in that position very often.
Stewart knifes in and banks it home. Stewart opened with 14 in the season opener. He only attempted 3 field goals in the last 2 games, and that's more of what we saw from him in that first game this year.
I think he needs to do that. He needs to be an offensive threat for K-State to run their offense the way you want. You don't want them to be able to disregard your point guard.
Burns high up over Cartier Martin. There is Lance Harris with another rebound for K-State.
Fulton's playing a sagging matchup zone. They don't think K-State is a good outside shooting team. The Wildcats have not hit very many three-point shots this year.
They leave it back for Martin, and he drains it, and we're tied at 8. First 2 of the night for Cartier Martin.
K-State only 8 of 25 through 3 games behind the arc. Fulton's daring him to shoot the ball out there.
Traveling violation, and we've reached our first timeout. Fullerton got off to a good start. K-State battling back. And as we reach our first break, Akeem Wright and Kansas State tied at 8.
Right, but in his lineup, you still can get those inside shots. You just got to make maybe 1 or 2 extra passes, get angles, and use your quickness in your offense. And that's happened, especially when you think about David Hoskins working inside at only 6'5". He's shooting 67% because he's getting such great shots down low.
Hoskins making 2 out of every 3 shots. Martin at 61% on the year. Stewart shooting better than 50% for this team. And now Mario Tabron starting to light it up tonight. A couple of free throws for Justin Burns, a junior from Las Vegas, probably the most improved player on this Titan team. Has improved his average early on by about 6 points per game. Curtis Allen in for Jim Woolridge.
A lot of players play for K-State. You'll see legitimately 11 guys rotate through and get significant minutes.
Hoskins, he is so adept in there and plays with such confidence, and he's making a living at the free throw line early on. He's hit 16 of 19 in the first 3 games, and he'll shoot them after the break with 11:47 left to go. K-State taking advantage of a 13-0 run, and they lead the Titans here by 8.
He was knocking down those shots consistently, and the Wildcats look like a whole different basketball team. But he did not extend that into this season. They've been waiting for him to come around. Maybe tonight will be the start of his comeback.
David Hoskins now 18 of 21 from the free throw line on the season. He has his first 2 tonight. Hoskins at 14.7 points per game. That is second among conference newcomers behind Brandon Rush of KU, who's averaging 15 a game. A lot of great newcomers. Some of them we've seen, some of them we haven't yet this year in the conference. Diarra back in.
Good help defense there.
Battles works his way inside against Drummond Diarra, and he'll shoot a couple. Curtis Battles is their largest player at 6'10", and he used to be a lot bigger. He's dropped 75 pounds in the last year.
It's unbelievable. He's still a big man, strong, but you know he's moving so much better right now. And it's helped his game. He came from West Hills College. He redshirted last year, sat out, originally from Los Angeles, California. Very nice shot for a big guy. Drummond Diarra trying to get the block, and why wouldn't he? Last game, 6 blocks, tying a K-State record that Tony Kitt had against the Kansas Jayhawks back in 1999, I believe. This time he gets called for the foul.
Here he goes, there's the play!
Stewart, Allen, Wright, Diarra, and Hoskins in there now for Jim Woolridge. Here's Stewart up high, penetrates on the zone. Tip try won't go, and knocked out of there to Jamal Brown. Off to Bobby Brown, guarded by Stewart. He'll pull the trigger, back rim. Harper there with the putback, and Fullerton pulls within 7.
Athletic play there by Jermaine Harper, not only to pull down the rebound, but to put it back up. He had a tough angle. He's able to lay it back in.
Talked about Fullerton being the preseason favorite in the Big West. One of the teams in the Big West is that Pacific team, who was ranked much of last season in the top 25. They ran the table in the Big West last year, going 18-0, as Wright drills another one from the corner. And yet it's not Pacific, it's Cal State Fullerton who's the favorite to win that conference this year.
And that's quite a compliment to Bob Burton and the program he has, because 2 of his better players graduated, 2 second-team all-conference players, Ralphie Holmes and Yapet King, no longer playing, graduated, and still the respect that they have for, I guess you call it the Brown brothers, first of all, and Jermaine